Okay, so I'm making this video just quickly off the dome because I've just gone through something that I think I can share with you, which will help you kind of get that momentum back, especially if you're somewhat stuck, if you really need that turnaround, that potential back that you know that you have, but you're just stuck in a slump and for whatever reason you feel like you can't really get back to it. Well, I've just kind of gone through the same exact thing, and I want to share with you my experience so that I can potentially help you to actually get back to where you really should be at. Because if you guys have been following my journey, you guys kind of know that I've gone through ups and downs throughout a lot of different things, right? I've made a bunch of money, then lost all that money, then kind of had to made it back. And really recently, I've kind of been, as you get, some of you guys know, you've seen the videos and whatnot, but I kind of switched business models, and pretty recently I've had struggles to really sign clients. And usually back in the day when I would do sales, I would pretty much sign clients left, right, and center, right? So I was kind of thinking to myself, yo, how can I get back to this good potential of myself that I know I can be? Because I've been there before, but right now I'm just really stuck, struggling to make money, struggling to really do anything out of this situation. And how do I really get back to where I belong? And the way I did this and kind of what happened to me and what I wish to really teach you guys and teach you and help you with is that usually when you're kind of stuck in some sort of slump, you're stuck in this position where you feel like you're putting the work in, you feel like you're doing what you've always been doing, but for whatever reason you can't really get to where you want to be. The thing is that usually there's something in the process of what you do that you've kind of, I guess, taken a seat on, or like a back step, or just not taken as seriously. And for me, it was mainly just like different examples. It was personal life stuff, just like my sleep schedule, how serious I was about my routine, all these things that I did when I was at the top. I, for whatever reason, just like didn't really care too much about. And you just don't think that it really matters because I kind of stopped doing those things and I was still making money. But then you realize that the fundamentals of what you were doing in your routine and all these things are really what kind of got you there in the first place. So now that you're there, you're just like, ah, fuck, I don't need to do this anymore. But in reality, that is actually what's stopping you. So that was kind of just like personal wise. And then also on the meetings, I was just like sales calls wise, just zooming through these sales calls like no biggie, because that's kind of how I felt that I did it back in the day. But in reality, that wasn't really what I was doing. I was just so dialed in that all of that just came on autopilot. While now I didn't really have that on autopilot, so I thought, yeah, well, whatever. So I kind of, what you should be doing and kind of what I did, and hopefully this helps. Like, I'm kind of just talking about my own experience. I'm not sure if this is even going to be relatable to everybody, or if this is something that's going to matter or not. But at least I'll just walk through what helped me. And what really helped me was just taking a step back, first of all. Sometimes you have to take a little bit of a step back to be able to take two steps forward, right? And that's in reality what I did. I felt like I was just like continually, because I was working hard and I was trying my best and all these things. So it felt like you were just constantly pushing forward. But in reality, I was almost like on a hamster wheel, just like going forward and forward and forward. But in reality, I was just stuck in the same place. So what ended up happening is I had to take a step back. Because when you take a step back, you can actually have a wider field of view, which means that you see more of the situation, and this is where reality kicks in. Because when you see more, when you have a wider perspective and a wider field of view, you're able to detect things that are important, which you might not see when you're closer, right? Just to kind of give that analogy. So in all reality, I took a step back, and what that helped me do was realize what I had done differently, what I'd stopped doing, and what really was the core things that got me to where I wanted to be in the first place. Because if I wake up at a specific time every single day, my sleep schedule was dialed in, my workout was dialed in, my meals were dialed in, I had everything like the same every single day, and it was just a routine over and over again. If that was what got me to where I wanted to be, then when I finally got there, I was in like I guess the perception of being like, oh, what got me to 30K a month is not what's going to get me to 50K a month. And it's like, sure, it might not even be, but it's definitely not going to keep you at 30K a month if you fucking stop doing it. That's for sure. It's going to just zoom straight down. So when I was kind of going through this, I took a step back and realized, okay, I've completely just stopped doing all the things that really mattered to me when I first wanted to achieve something. And I had this spiral happen before, like I said, when I made a bunch of money and then lost all of it because I got hacked. Then I kind of just like had to restart. And when I restarted that time, I kind of did the same thing. I took a step back and realized, yo, you need to fucking dial these things in because now you're just slacking off and you're not doing it the way you're supposed to. So if you're going through a slump, whether it be with sports, school, relationships, all these things, take a little bit of a step back. Look at your situation and look for things that you feel like are just off. What is different? What is not working? Why are these things happening? And just detach yourself kind of away from all this, right? Take a step back, detach yourself and look through your life, look through your situations, look through your actions. What is it that you're doing differently now? Why were you kind of in that mode before and why aren't you there anymore? Look through these things and don't be desperate. Don't force anything, right? You don't want to force it because that's what I'm saying. That's what I did. And you're just in the hamster wheel if you force it. Take a step back and be like, okay, what's really going on here? What got me to where I was at? And why am I not there, right? Look through these things specifically. And what you'll realize is that there's always something. There's always something. And by the way, sometimes it's not something you can even control. But don't use that as a cop-out, right? Because you need to focus on things you can actually control. But sometimes there's some people that were in your life that are no longer there and you can potentially not even control that, right? But what you can control is like, okay, but what did we do? What was like the thing that made this work? Look at those things in detail and recreate them in different ways. I'm not saying you have to do the same exact thing. Just for me, right? When I had my personal things, I was like, okay, but sleep schedule was like the number one thing for me because I would wake up super early and I would get shit done before anything. Now I don't really have the freedom to have that sleep schedule because I work with clients way past bedtime. And that's just sometimes how it is when you're in different parts of the world. But what I can do is I can at least dial in some sort of schedule that will keep me with enough sleep and also being able to wake up early enough to actually get things dialed in until I get back to my real schedule. Just for instance, that's just a personal thing for me, but for you, it might be something completely else, right? So all of these things are very important to understand, but you won't realize them until you genuinely take a step back. Like you cannot force yourself. You cannot sit in that situation and just like force things out because you'll realize you'll just stay stuck and you feel like you're never ever getting back to that potential. And that's because you're spinning in the wheel, dude. Like you're literally doing the same thing over again, but you think you're doing different things. And sometimes taking that step back will just open your field of view. It will give you a new horizon and you'll realize exactly what you need to do to get back to it. And the final thing that I want to end this thing off with, I hope you're watching this. If you are, comment down below because this is probably one of the most important parts of the video. It is that when you take that step back and you start doing these things, and then you kind of get this passion back. And I really felt this myself today, especially today, because I'd kind of been back in the groove of things again. And I just like had a very solid win. When I signed a client, I was like, okay, fuck, this is that feeling that I've been missing. And I was like, okay, shit, now I get it. Now I'm back to where I used to be. You kind of get this little just motivation boost almost. And that's sometimes also what you need just to kind of get back into the flow, dude, because you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be, and just getting that small little win, whatever it is, just get a small little win like you used to. And if you can get there, dude, ride off of that momentum, bro, because that's gonna take you far. Right now, I'm just like, I got that small win, and now I feel I can fucking do everything. I can do anything and everything, just because I have that small win. And now it's just like, dude, I want to double down on this, right? You want to go even better, even higher, even bigger. It's just like, dude, come on. You get that motivation, and you cannot always rely on motivation, right? But sometimes when you're in a slump, that's just when you just need that little push, that little win that will get you further along. So I hope that helps. If you need any help, you can always message me on Instagram. I'm posting content on there, as well as there's a lot of people just reaching out to me. So I'm happy to help with whatever. Nothing to sell you. Just I'll actually make a community. It's probably going to be free. I don't know if it's going to be up by this, but yeah, just like message me if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. Nothing to sell you. So if you just are stuck in life and you need help, I've been through it myself and I can potentially help you. Hope that helps. If there's anything you want from me, leave a comment down below and I'll make a video. Besides that, I'll catch you next time. Thank you for watching.